Right, today we're back at the park and we're going to try something a bit crazy. We've got the Zino. I don't think you'll be able to see it, but I'll try and get it up in the air. It's not connected up to the actual controller yet, so I just need to get it powered on. I always have trouble turning on Zinos. I don't know why that is. Is it the same as a... Yeah, there you go. You got to sort of hold it, press and hold for a while. Anyway, yeah, we'll try and get it connected up. I don't know if you can see the controller down there. Right, what we're going to do is fly with a 360 camera. So we managed to bag a sort of GoPro Fusion cheap off eBay. So we're going to give that a go once we get everything connected up. It's still not showing up on the on the actual controller yet. So let's just see what happens. Maybe it's stopped checking. I'm going to close out of the app maybe, and then go back in. Just going to find the Hubson on there. Skip that. Enter device to main interface. Now it should.
Is under protection. Please check if it's jammed.
Hey.
Gimbal is under.
Oh yeah. Take the gimbal cover off. Yeah, it does do that.
Is under.
Yes, we know. Thank you for telling us. So I'm probably going to have to turn it off again.
Gimbal is under protection.
It's good, this, isn't it? Yeah, so we got
is under protection.
Turned it off.
If it's jammed.
Right, now I'll turn it back on again. See if I can get it back on. Hopefully this time we'll get connected up to the controller. It's a bit difficult today because we've got the 360 camera on it. Yeah, so the gimbal's doing what it's doing. Just quickly wipe off the lenses on the 360 camera, make sure they're all good. The weather's not perfect, but I think it's good enough. And I'm going to have to try and do like a hand launch. So that's going to be interesting. It's the first time I tried to do that. So it's not connecting back up yet. It's always the way, isn't it, when you're trying to... here we go. Yeah, it's doing it. So what I've got to try and do is I've got to try and sort of take off with it. It may ask to calibrate. Let's see what... So it's saying weak GPS signal, so let's just let it catch up at the moment. And you can't get any weaker than 0 satellites. Now, I'm not covering anything, I don't think, that would cause a problem with the satellite. So let's see how we get on. But I have found these Zinos to be a bit funny. Sometimes they don't, you know, the satellites and stuff, they just don't connect up, and you have to restart the app and you have to do all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'm not surprised. It can be a bit funny. Here we go, it's starting to pick up satellites now. And I think that's a problem with Zinos actually that we do have. So but yeah, hopefully I'll let that just sort of connect itself up again a minute, and hopefully we're going to be doing all right once it has picked up enough satellites. And then hopefully we can launch, and we try and keep away from people, but you can never sort of, you got to hope they don't want to come over really, and they will probably. So let's see. It's definitely not picking up. So this is the issue, you know, with Zino sometimes, is that here we go, 9 satellites. So I'm not really doing anything particularly odd, or you know, I'm holding it away from me. You know, I've got to kind of hand launch it for this, so hopefully that'll go all right. But it's got a weak GPS signal at the moment, so I don't want to take off until I've got a full GPS signal. I don't know if you can see that in the camera there. Maybe. What I'll do is, while I'm waiting for that, I'll take my hat cam off and give you a sort of tour. But yeah, basically you've got the 360 camera on there, and I better turn that on actually before I do the launch. We're using the Zino Pro Plus battery today, so I don't know how well you're seeing that. Sort of new to this whole hat cam thing. But yeah, you've got the 360 camera down there, GoPro Fusion. We're going to turn that on. Right, it's saying it's ready to take off, so I'm going to turn on the camera here, and hopefully we'll be recording in 5.2K on that, and that's because obviously it's got a bigger field of vision. It kind of 360 cameras record everything, Right, so we've started the recording on that. Right, and it's probably not going to be the longest flight, so here we go. Right, I'm going to try and take off. Bind to current device, of course. It's nice of them again. Right, so... Right, there we go. Gone up no problem. Definitely holding nicely. Really, yeah, it's holding well actually. So let's see what we get. Let's sort of hover around a second. I'm not going to spin it round much. I'm not going to go too crazy in the air because we need to be a bit careful with the camera on there. So anyway, right, what we're mainly going to do is go up, start. This is the first sort of trial of this idea basically. So see how, what's it doing? Is it going up? Yeah, it's going up. Hopefully we'll get a lovely 360 view. Of course, the camera will still be in operation. We'll still see what's on the normal drone camera and what have you. So we'll know where we are and what have you and what's going on and that kind of thing. But hopefully we can get a full 360 view. Now we've got a hand low land as well. So let's pick the gimbal up a second. I'm going to sort of stand a bit away from it because I think the controller doesn't get a very good signal if you're directly below. So let's do a kind of 360 if you like with the Zino, and it's holding it very well. I'm not seeing any jerky movements or anything like that. It's definitely doing okay. That camera seems fine to me, so I'm pretty happy with that. Can we go forward kind of? Oh, that's up. So we want to go forward a bit, and that's going okay. It'll be fascinating to see the footage because, you know, we want to be careful. We don't want that camera going down. We don't want the Zino dropping out of the sky. So I don't think it will. But yeah, that's all looking good. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we can't do a lot of filming with 360 cameras because the thing with a 360 camera is that a 360 camera will basically, you know, it will record a hell of a lot of footage, and it will be really, you know, it'll be large files, and you have to kind of render them on your computer. Which, so I don't know if you can see up there, see a drone in the air, but it's all holding pretty well. I can see everything sort of steady up there. You just don't want to go too crazy. Basically, I wonder if we can. We're in normal mode. So we're in a good mode. We don't want to go anything like sports mode or anything like that. Just want to be sensible because obviously that drone's carrying a lot of weight. And what I decided to do was mount the camera on the bottom of the drone because I didn't, you know, I've seen a lot of videos where they mounted it on the kind of top, and I didn't want to have the drone underneath. You'll be able to see the drone above it on the 360 image. And of course we'll stick the footage over this video, and hopefully you can sort of see what kind of result we get. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be a very long video, but let's see. But yeah, we have to, because the thing is you have to render, and I picked up the GoPro Fusion cheap because it was kind of a slated camera, you know. People don't like it. They all kind of go for Insta360 cameras, which is understandable because they're much easier to deal with. The GoPro Fusion stitches its footage in camera, so basically that's kind of why people don't like it, because you kind of need a powerful-ish computer to do it, which I have for my kind of videos anyway. But yeah, you need to be careful really with it if you don't have the fastest machine. So I think it got a bad rap straight away, and that kind of put people off the camera. But I found it to be quite capable. In the tests I've done so far, I've been really happy with it. It didn't take very long to render files, and I mean, I should imagine if I had a slightly less powerful machine, it would still be okay. But yeah, maybe have a look, take a look at how the horizon is. Is it level? It's a shame. It was nice and sunny earlier. Now it's gone cloudy again. But yeah, I found it to be okay. I think the thing with the Insta360s are that they are able to do everything in camera. So all the stitching, so there's two lenses to the camera. They can stitch everything in camera, and I think that is why people don't prefer the GoPro because, and I believe the GoPro Max, which came out afterwards, can stitch everything in camera. So that's you know, that's an improvement. So the GoPro was kind of doomed from the beginning. No one liked it. No one was happy with its performance levels. So yeah, so that was a shame of the GoPro, really, is that people just didn't, you know, they didn't rate it compared to you know, the Instas and the other cameras that were available, which were much more user friendly. But I think it's kind of like professional friendly in some ways, because, you know, you can use your kind of tools, like, you know, to make your videos. And so, you know, for me, who used to working with videos, I think it's probably fine. But for somebody just wanting to grab social media footage, it's probably not the best camera. So yeah, so I think that's why, I think that's the thing. It's not got a good rap, but it made it very cheap for us. So we were very happy with that. And yeah, just going back over the top of ourselves now. Got quite a bit of battery life. So I don't really, see, the problem is I don't know what's going on with the actual 360 video, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it to return to home now. So this is the moment of truth, really. So, okay, right, return to takeoff point.
Return to home.
This is the moment of truth for me. I've got to try and basically grab this drone by the camera as it kind of comes down. So I have to be a bit careful, really, because it's actually quite hard to see with the hat cam what's going on. So let's see if we can. I don't want to cut my hands or anything trying to grab this camera, so but yeah, I think that's the plan. I think I'm going to kind of use the camera as a handle, because it should be pretty strongly on there as long as I get underneath it. In fact, what I'll do is cancel. Yes,
Cancel return.
so I'm going to cancel the return now. So it's coming down. I don't know if you can see that on the hat cam, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to kind of land it whilst I've got hold of it, and that's what I want to do. So I don't know if you can see that in the air there. Pretty happy with that, hopefully. Right, so I want to kind of, right, that's brilliant. So yeah, you just keep pressing down and hold on to the camera, and basically that has sorted it out. So that's pretty good. I just noticed I didn't record any of that, any of the actual camera. I recorded the camera, I just didn't record any of the footage from the actual drone. So what I think I'll do is I might stop that, right? And then I think what I'll do is I'll start that again. Well, in fact, I'll switch into the, that's the thing, when you're doing like two things at once, it kind of confuses you. So right, I'm going to record on the drone, which I think I'm doing now. I'm going to now do takeoff. Oh, hang on. Right, and I've managed to push the record button, I think. So I think it's recorded. I'm going to bring it down just quick. Hang on. Yeah, it's definitely recording. So anyway, I'm going to bring the camera down to me, point it towards me, so you can see me with the hat cam on. Oh, the gimbals are so smooth on this, they basically come down at a snail's pace. So here's me basically doing that. And then what we're going to do is, because now we've got the recording going, we're going to go up basically. But yeah, very happy with so far with the quality of this drone. I mean, I did think about using, you know, the Mavic Pro or like the Mavic Air 2 to do this, and you can buy custom mounts. But I basically use the GoPro mount that comes with it, with the camera. So I use the GoPro mount, and I basically, you know, I kind of cable tied it to that, and it seemed pretty secure to me. So I'm pretty happy with that, and it's been up there, and it's all kind of working. So I think we're pretty happy with that, really. So yeah, so now, sorry about that, I didn't press record before. But yeah, basically we're going to now, hopefully we'll be able to get some of the 360 footage that basically as it was going up, and the, you know, the footage from the actual video. So let's hope so, or else it's all from the from the screen recorder. But yeah, basically, hopefully we're recording. So that's the thing, just be careful. There's a lot going on when you're doing something like this. You're basically having to be responsible for the 360 camera or whatever's attached to your drone, plus, you know, remembering to actually do the other camera. So yeah, we don't want to go too close to those train tracks there, so let's back away from there a minute. But yeah, it's you know, I'm pretty happy with it so far. I've got to be a bit careful. I don't want to go too crazy because you know, this drone could go out of control and we don't want that. So, you know, I mean, that was one of the other thoughts of putting it on the bottom, was that I felt that it would basically behave better than if it was on the top of the drone. I thought it'd be a bit top heavy and it might kind of flip it over. But yeah, I decided not to use the Mavic Pro, and the main reason for that was that the Mavic Pro has sort of it has sensors on the bottom of it. Do we dare going across the river? You know, I think we could. It's doing okay. It's going forward. It's going forward quite slowly, so I'm pretty happy with that. It's not moving fast, like 5 meters a second. So yeah, my thinking was the Mavic Pro would battery level's low, so obviously this is taxing that battery more. So we want to be careful here. We want to be careful. Just a quick look around, I think, and then back. But yeah, basically, with the Mavic Pro or the Mavic, well, basically, one, they cost more money, so I was a little bit nervous about spending money on you know, basically potentially losing, because, you know, it's risky. You're putting something underneath. There's a chance you're going to lose it, because it's not, you know, it can carry a load. But well, yeah, we'll get that to return home now. So return to the takeoff point. Yeah, you'll get a nice sort of Chinese lady who will tell you it's coming back. But yeah, basically, the reason I didn't use the Mavic Pro or the Mavic Air 2 was Mavic Air 2 was a bit pricey for basically doing this with. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll do what I did again to get it to return over, and then basically as it's coming down, I'll cancel the return, and then hopefully we can use that to pick it up. But yeah, I didn't want to kind of damage the, well, the Mavic, basically the Zino is my cheapest drone, and that's the fact really. It's the cheapest drone that we own of any size. So you know, the idea was that it would be safer to use the Zino than the Mavic Pro, because the Mavic Pro costs a lot more money, and also the Mavic Air 2 costs a lot more money. Right, so it's coming down. But yeah, but the other factor was, right, I'm going to cancel the return now because I know where it is. The other factor was that underneath the drone on the Zino there is nothing. There's no optical flow sensors. There's nothing underneath it. And I think basically when you've got a Mavic Pro or a Mavic Air 2 and you decide to put things underneath, you've got to basically cover those sensors, and then that drone's going to be quite confused. So you've got to turn off those sensors, and even if you turn off those sensors, then it's not going to fly as well. It'll probably fly a bit more like the Zino. Right, so here we go. Right, so whoop, there we go. So that basically was fine. So it basically at some point realizes, hang on a minute, I'm kind of on the ground now. Right, so I'm going to you probably see me in the 360. Right, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the 360, so that gets saved. I'm going to basically, yeah, I might continue the recording on the drone for a second, yeah. But underneath, you've kind of got sensors. I don't know if you can see, but there's no sensors there. And that's the point. I don't know if you're seeing that. I'll probably take my hat cam off a second, kind of try and get a bit of a better view again of it. But yeah, basically, underneath the drone, you haven't got like any sensors. What that black area that you're seeing is basically just the battery. So that's the thing with the Zino really, is that, and this is a good look at the Zino. But that's the thing with the Zino, you don't have any optical flow sensors, you don't have any, you don't have any sensors at all basically. I think it's got a barometer in it. But yeah, that's a good look at the GoPro. I still haven't taken off the little Basically I got this, apparently it was refurbished. There's a slight scratch on the screen on one of the lenses, a slight scratch on one of the other lens, which that one's not as apparent. But to be honest, I was intending to send it back because I thought, you know, it said that it should be perfect. The guy had lots of them, and I guess he must get them from GoPro or something. But I have filmed a few things with it, just playing around, and I have not found anything to be amiss. I haven't seen anything in the picture quality, and I just kind of thought it's in good overall condition apart from that. So I'll just keep it. But yeah, as you can see, we have strapped it on with like kind of 4 cable ties, because 2 cable ties weren't long enough, so I've kind of cable tied another cable tie to itself and then gone round, and that's held on the GoPro sort of helmet mount, or I think this might be a flat mount actually. But yeah, it kind of holds that rubber bit, kind of keeps it in place there, and the front keeps it in place. So I'm pretty happy with how it was handling. The problem is, of course, you can't land off the floor. You can't, unless you get something around it or something and then take off that way. Ooh, what's that? Gimbal. Ooh, it's jammed. So anyway, I'm gonna stop it, and I'm gonna turn it off because I think basically it's not jammed. Hang on, there we go. I think it's off. Well, I think it's gone off now. I think we're happy with that. Right, so that'll stop her sort of having a go at me. But yeah, as you can see, I don't think there's a problem with the gimbal. I think what would happen was as we were looking around the camera there, it was basically moving the gimbal around, and that kind of worried it. So, but as you can see, we're using the Zino Pro Plus battery today instead of the Zino One battery, because we found that to work perfectly with it, and it gives you a lot more flight time. So I was pretty happy with that, really. It's a really good solution to the problem. If you've got a problem with basically battery time, you can see like the clip all fits in. It does fine. It holds itself in place. It's not going anywhere. And to be honest with you, probably that camera being kind of clamped in there with its kind of pad is holding that well into the drone and into the battery. So I would imagine that gives you a bit of extra protection, to be honest. We're not really covering up the vents either, so that's pretty good. The battery fits quite well. It's pretty good, and it holds in place. So yeah, I mean the difficulty will be that getting hold of the battery plus the drone will probably be more expensive than just buying the Zino Pro Plus. We bought the Zino. We managed to get the Zino One on a really good deal. I think it was like £160 from Banggood, and it was like a kind of Christmas deal. And at the same time, we got the Zino Pro Plus for like £250. Again, another sort of really good Christmas deal. So for us, it worked out really good because that's a really cheap price. I mean, it's kind of mad that you see some of these sort of more toy grade drones on Amazon selling for like £300, these sort of Holy Stone type ones, and yet you could get a Zino One from Banggood for £160, and often you'll probably find it under £200 anyway. And I think overall your money is much better spent on a Zino One. I mean, really, the 3-axis gimbal is just worth it alone. You shouldn't really be worrying about other, you shouldn't really be touching anything unless it's got a 3-axis gimbal. So, but yeah, basically, let's see how this 360 video comes out. But yeah, that's like a basically look around at what we done. I was a bit nervous about doing it on the bottom for the first time. A lot of people put it on the top. But I think for me, it just felt like you want to have a nice clear view, because the idea of these videos is what I'll probably do is there'll probably be a video. This video will probably show you how I done it and take sort of like a 2D or like a kind of normal view out of the 360 footage, and I'll post a link in the description below to the full 360 video. We'll stick that up as well, so that you can kind of, you know, the idea of that is it's interactive. So on your phone, you'll be able to kind of drag around the video and look up and down and that kind of stuff. And the same on your desktop, you'll be able to do it on the desktop as well. You'll be able to drag around the video, and it's quite a cool experience. And if you've got VR headset, oh, look, the sun's coming back out now. That's nice of it, isn't it? It was tipping down with rain earlier this morning, thought we wouldn't be able to do it. And then it kind of brightened up for like 5 minutes, quickly tried to get everything ready. By the time I got everything ready, typical British weather, it had already gone again, the sun, and it was like you saw it. And now, you know, just as we're finishing, it's a bit sunny again. But yeah, basically, I think it's quite a cool feature. I'm going to try and do some more 360 videos. It's kind of a gimmick that people have kind of got bored of now, I don't know. So it's kind of cheap enough for playing around with, instead of it costing a fortune to go out and buy. I mean, we kind of imagine that we could take this on holiday and stuff in the summer, and you could kind of, you know, for friends and family, show them around the pool and that kind of thing. So, you know, I think these cameras are a bit of a bargain for the price. Just don't bank on doing kind of long videos with it. The whole idea of these 360 is they're kind of like an accompaniment to your main kind of videos. So most of your videos will be normal kind of GoPro style stuff. And your other videos will be, you know, the odd little 360 that, you know, a few minutes. And if you don't go over a few minutes, it's not going to be too taxing on your machine to render. And if you do go for something like an Insta360 camera, which we'll put links to as well, you'll get the same result as these, but you can do it all in the app. And it'll probably be a lot easier if you're new to this kind of thing. So although we're new to this and we're having a go, so it depends where you are as well. You may not be able to get hold of the camera. As I said, it was discontinued and we picked it up from eBay, and there just seems to be a glut of them on eBay, so at a really good price. So what I would say is, if you really want to try it out, then get an Insta360. But you know, if you've got a decent PC and you're up for a bit of kind of, you know, editing and what have you, and you want to play around with it, although it wasn't that hard. I mean, I didn't find it hard at all, and even from a point of view of a beginner, I think it's pretty easy. So yeah, I would suggest that you could you know, you could get one, and yeah, I mean, I had all sorts of problems because I use a Mac, and you know, I kind of bought the camera, done a bit of research, kind of thought, yeah, this is the kind of camera I want. It had a bit of a bad review just because of the stitching thing. Then I bought it, and then there was kind of warnings that I hadn't seen at first, which said, oh, it won't work if you got Big Sur. It won't work, you can't use it. And that's not true. I've managed to get it to work on Big Sur. I've had no problems. So I think, you know, a lot of it is scaremongering. The camera was fine for me, but there are alternatives that are a bit easier, and that's the Insta360. So we'll post links below. I expect there won't be links to GoPro Fusion just because it's not easy to get hold of, but you know, do a search around, you should be able to pick one up. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this will come out right and I haven't just done it for nothing. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you like this sort of content, please click subscribe and notifications bell to get notified of new videos. And if you could like the video, that would be great if you liked it. And you know, share to your friends, that'd be great. Thanks very much, and we'll see you again in the next one.